Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we are going to do a request from Kiji Hoon 5640. Can I call you Kiji? I hope so, because the rest of that is a mouthful. Anyway, oftentimes I take requests that you guys want to see, and Kiji is from Bakewell, England. You know what that means? We're going to do a Bakewell Tart. Oh yes! Now, I've never done a Bakewell Tart before, but I think we're gonna smash it out of the park, right? We'll see. So if you wanna bake along with me, we're gonna use King Arthur's Bakewell Tart recipe, and here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need 1 1/2 cups of pastry flour, 1/4 of a cup of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, cold, 1 large egg yolk, reserve the white for the filling. 2 tablespoons of cold water. Now for the filling, you're gonna need 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, softened, 1/2 of a cup of granulated sugar, which is just white sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1 1/4 cups of almond flour, 1/4 of a cup of pastry flour, 1 large egg, 1 large egg white, that's the one you saved from earlier, 3/4 of a teaspoon of almond extract, 1/4 of a cup of raspberry jam, and 1/2 of a cup of sliced almonds. All right, you guys, I am gonna use a food processor to bring together this beautiful tart. I feel confident that I can use a food processor in this because I saw Jamie Oliver do it. And Jamie is a pretty awesome guy, and he made his whole Bakewell Tart using his food processor. I love my food processor, so of course I'm going to use it as well. You'll find the link to Jamie Oliver's recipe and King Arthur's recipe just so that you can see the difference between, you know, using a food processor and not. I just thought I'd preface that in case somebody's like, you're cheating, you're using a food processor. If it's good enough for Jamie, it's good enough for me. Let's get started. Okay, so inside this food processor, I am going to put our pastry flour, our powdered sugar, and our salt. And I'm just gonna pulse it a couple times so that we kind of mix it all together. Next, we're gonna add the butter a little bit at a time and just bring it to a fine crumble. Let's look there. That looks fantastic. Now, even though I have never done this recipe before, I can gather that this looks fantastic because this is the way I make my streusel. So I feel like I know a little bit about my food processor and how it brings doughs together. So just make sure it's not clumping together because you definitely don't want it to clump together quite yet. But in just a hot minute, you're gonna wanna see it clump together while we add our egg white and our cold water. I'm sorry, our egg yolk. Check it out. Okay, so now we're just gonna pulse 1 or 2 times until it all comes together. See how it all kind of came together in a ball? That's perfect. Now we're gonna get this out and get it wrapped up and into the freezer for 30 minutes. I have never made this dough before, so it is pretty sticky, which is probably why they want you to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. So I'm just gonna make it into a nice little ball here. Freezer, we're gonna put it into the freezer. Freezer for 30 minutes or refrigerator for a while longer. I don't know. My recipe says 30 minutes in the freezer. So here we go. Just kidding. Don't put it in the freezer. I was remembering a different recipe. I wasn't reading as I went along. You actually don't put it in the freezer until a little bit later. So no plastic wrap needed. And now we're gonna roll this out. Now, if you were making a 9-inch tart, you would want to roll this out to about 12 inches. However, today I'm using mini tartlet pans because I'm hosting some friends tonight and this is gonna be our dessert. So I thought it would be fun to kind of do it in these minis. I don't know if that's gonna bite me in the rear, but it's fine. So I will assume, since the 9-inch tart wanted you to make it about 3 inches larger, I'm gonna assume I don't need 3 inches more than this, but I probably need a good inch more than this right here. And this is a 8 centimeter or a 3-inch tart. So I'll probably make 4-inch circles. Hopefully I'll have enough dough. If not, I'll just throw some more together. Should be okay though, because it about equals the 9-inch tart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to straight away cut this into 6 pieces. So what we're gonna do, what I saw in all of the videos, is we're going to lightly sprinkle some flour down, or else it's going to stick like glue, because this is a very sticky dough. And then we are going to, let's see, what did I decide? 4 inches isn't very large, actually. I think I'll have plenty of dough. So I think I'm gonna go 4.5 or even 5 inches, because then I have plenty of space to work with. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I can't roll a circle to save my life, but it's fine, because it won't matter. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mini tartlet pan, we're going to push it right down inside, and then we're going to take our rolling pin and just roll right over the top, and that will trim off all the rest of the pastry. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a fork and we're going to just poke holes in the bottom of this pastry so that it does not puff up. So just poke a few holes, and now we'll do that with the rest of these. I hope I'm not rolling it too thin. We'll find out. And then we're gonna take any leftover dough and I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator to maybe make some more Bakewell tarts later with this dough, because it's good dough. Okay, and now we are gonna get these on a sheet pan and get them into the freezer for that 30 minutes that I was talking about earlier. This one's for sure. I checked twice. All right, see you in 30 minutes. All right, the 30 minutes is now up, and now it's time for us to put together our frangipan. So I've never made frangipan either. I saw Jamie do it in his food processor, so we're gonna do it the same, because I love to utilize the tools that I have. Otherwise, why have the tools? You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna get our softened butter into the food processor, our sugar, and our salt. And we're just gonna let that pulse a little bit until it's well combined and kind of starting to look fluffy, maybe. Won't take long to look pale and fluffy, because the food processor does a really good job. Okay, that looks pretty pale and fluffy. So we're gonna move on. Next, we're going to put in our flours. So we have the almond flour and the pastry flour, and then we're going to blitz that a little bit. All right, and now we're gonna add our eggs in slowly, which is 1 egg white and 1 whole egg, and our almond extract. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape it down 1 time and give it 1 more pulse, and then we're gonna call that good. Probably should have used my small attachment, since this is not very much. It's fine though. It's fine. No for next time. Use the smaller bowl so that things all stay together. All right, I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna get this into one of these bowls though. I hope this is what it's supposed to look like, because that's what it looks like. All right, so I'll just get it into a bowl and we'll set it aside until the crusts come out of the oven. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of parchment paper. We're gonna sprinkle it up because it makes it easier to shape. And we're gonna set it right down inside our tarts and put some pie weights down in there. Now, if you don't have pie weights, you can use rice, uncooked rice, or actual beans. But pie weights are pretty cheap. You can find them on Amazon, and they will just help ensure that your crust cooks but does not over bake. Yeah, I don't think I have enough pie weights, so I'm actually gonna use some leftover black-eyed peas from the other day's video. Perfect, okay. So now I'm gonna bake these at 400 for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna remove the beans and then bake them for another 5-ish minutes. So here they go. Okay, our shells, our tart shells are out, they are cooled, and now it's time to fill them and get them back into the oven. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread a little bit of raspberry jam on the bottom of each of these shells. Now, it only asks for 1/4 of a cup of raspberry, but I feel like because they're in 6 shells, I'm gonna need a little bit more. So I got my bon maman out so that I could get that in the bottom, because I feel like that's not enough. It's probably more like 1/2 of a cup less like 1/4 of a cup. But maybe if you were doing a whole tart shell, it would be 1/4 of a cup. But anyway, all right, we'll call that good. Next, we are going to spoon the frangipan over the top. Where's my spoon? And I assume since they said spoon, they know that it's kind of squishy. So that gives me a little hope that this is correct. So I'm just gonna spoon it over and push it to the sides. How am I doing? Those of you who have made Bakewell tarts before, is this how you would have made these little things? Inquiring minds want to know. Whoa. Okay, well, all right, I'm just gonna do that to the rest of these. By the way, I tasted the frangipan. This stuff is delicious. I could see using this in a whole host of ways, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be Googling a couple recipes of what else frangipan is used in, because man, this is good stuff. All right, I don't know if that's right, but that's what the directions say. So now we are going to sprinkle them with almonds. Okay, now we're gonna get them back into the oven for 20 minutes. If you're making the little ones, if you're making a big one, it's 35 to 40 minutes. When they come out of the oven, we have to let them cool completely. So I will be back when they're out of the oven and they're all cooled and they're ready to taste. All right, we'll see you in a few. Okay, you guys, welcome back. It has been at least 2 hours that these have been cooling because I actually had a chance to go and get my hair cut. So it's a little different than the first part of this video, but no matter. These guys are ready and they are absolutely beautiful. So if you use the little tart pans, we're just going to use our finger and pop them right up and out. Look at that! And they came out so nicely. Let's see if I can get them off the bottom. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that, and no soggy bottoms. Wow. If you were doing a big tart pan, you would also want to do the same thing, but do it on like a cake board or something, because they would probably, you know, snap in half if you tried to use your hand. But these guys, since they're so little, you can just pop them right out. And my dinner guests are nearing arrival. See, I timed this all out so that I would be done with my video, done with dinner, and dinner is in the sous vide. It's prime rib, oh yeah. And done with dessert so that we can just have a great time tonight. But you guys, these are adorable. I am so excited to try them too. And we only have 5 dinner guests tonight. So this 6th one is gonna be the one that you and I are gonna try right here together, because I've literally never had a Bakewell tart before, but the frangipan that's inside of this is phenomenal. So I know this is gonna be phenomenal. And all of these, they baked so well. So the final temperatures were 400 degrees for 20 minutes, 10 minutes with the beans in, 10 minutes with them out. Then we dropped the temperature to 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. I think it was between 25 and 30 minutes. And then we had these perfect little frangipan Bakewell tarts. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm assuming I just need a knife. I'm assuming that I can just pick it up kind of like a piece of cake because it's so small. So I'm just going to cut into it. Ooh, nice and soft. And look at that on the inside. Does that look like a Bakewell tart, people? I hope so. All right, let's just go ahead and take a little bit. I'll cut it into a little pie wedge and let's taste it. Here we go, my first Bakewell tart. Ooh, there's so much going on. Okay, so when I was looking up recipes, I saw that some people called for that tart cherry jam at the bottom, and then some called for raspberry, which is also kind of tart. And I was like, why wouldn't you put something sweeter in there? But I see now why. The frangipan is so sweet that the tartness of that raspberry really cuts through it, and everything is melt in your mouth. It's like a mouthful of buttery goodness. Of course, with the almonds as well. So as you can tell, it is very flaky and buttery in there. That's the frangipan that we mixed up. It is almost like this buttery, I'm gonna say butter one more, it's buttery delicious. Oh my. I'm gonna have another piece just cause. And those almonds, oh wow. Oh wow. I can see now why this is a favorite of a lot of English folk. It's so good. All right, Kiji, thank you. Thank you for challenging me in this because this, this pastry will easily become a regular in my dessert making. I can't believe that I've never tried it before now. I think I was a little worried because I'd never made frangipan before, but that was pretty easy. The whole recipe was easy. So if you've been on the fence about trying a Bakewell tart, there you have it. There's a Bakewell tart. And you guys who have done Bakewell tarts, and maybe you live in Bakewell, England, and you want to see how I did, please let me know how I did in the comments because I don't know, to me, that looks pretty spot on. All right, you guys, well, that's it for me. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. Thank you, Kiji, for suggesting this. This was awesome, and I am so glad that I took your suggestion and I tried it out. All right, you guys, well, I will see you on the next adventure. Bye.